Every company wants to achieve great performances. Every company needs competent people to operate and support their business and operations, to deliver great services and product to their customers. However, it's always challenging to manage and develop the people inside to have the right system that can align the company needs with people contribution. It takes lots of time, effort, and money to develop the right people management system. To tackle that problems, smart companies need smart solution. We are what you need. Introducing your smart people solution. Prophecy.io. Prophecy.io helps companies to develop a practical people management system in split seconds. Designing a competency model that aligns with the company's vision, mission, strategic directions can be done easily and speedily. Prophecy.io, powered by SRW&Co, has rich competency database gathered from over 17 years of research and consulting experiences. Combining this with artificial intelligence, Prophecy.io can generate highly accurate and complete competency dictionary and profiles. And to continue from this, company can run 360-degree assessment using the set of competency questionnaires provided by Prophecy.io. Assessment results can be generated automatically, and the system will identify individual competency gaps instantly. To address the development needs and close the competency gap, Prophecy.io recommends development programs in several formats: on-the-job training, short online and offline courses, certification programs, and degree programs. Prophecy.io has forged partnership with reputable international and local business schools and universities. Participants can potentially get special discount to join the programs through Prophecy.io. Prophecy.io commits to help and assist you to reach your goals. We grow together with you.
Hello everyone. On behalf of the partners of SRW&Co, I'm very pleased to announce the launch of our new digital platform, Prophecy.io. The launching of Prophecy.io marks an important milestone in our company. It shows our commitment to continuously transform our company, to adapt to the technology-driven world, be relevant and competitive in the business world. We started our business in 2003 as an HR management consulting firm. Our mission then and today remains the same: to provide practical and cost-effective people management solutions to support our clients in improving the performance of their business and their people. Our vision is to be among the best in our profession in becoming a trusted partner for our clients and business associates. From HR management consulting, we ventured into the executive education business 10 years ago, and now we are moving into the HR technology sector. This completes the cycle of the continuous transformation of our company with three synergistic businesses in consulting, executive education, and technology. The three core businesses will provide the best and practical people management solution for our clients. We believe with our new digital platform, Prophecy.io, we will be even better positioned to serve our clients across industry and across geography. We have packaged our product offerings with a very affordable pricing, so it will be affordable for the small and medium-sized companies. With the accelerated digitalization in the business world, Prophecy.io will be able to help users to develop a practical and cost-effective HR management system.
Good morning. It is indeed my pleasure to be part of today's event, launching this new initiative called Prophecy.io. Let me also take this opportunity to congratulate SRW&Co for taking the lead in this initiative. Against the backdrop of increasing digitalization in ASEAN, Prophecy.io is indeed a welcome initiative for promoting people management system and designing a competency-based assessment using digital technologies such as artificial intelligence. Thus, today's event is indeed very timely and relevant given the increasing importance of digital technologies in the region today. During this pandemic, digital connectivity has become an important priority for the region. Evidence suggests, for example, how the use of different digital technologies during this pandemic has actually enabled many countries in ASEAN to reach new markets and unleash productivity improvements in the way people interact with each other and businesses operate. I also believe that digital connectivity has become an important lifeline during this pandemic, and I think moving forward, the opportunities being provided by digital technologies need to be captured as well as we try to develop or establish a resilient and inclusive recovery from this pandemic. While digitalization has been high on ASEAN agenda in recent years, there is still an urgency to further accelerate digitalization in ASEAN in order to ensure that digital technologies will have long-lasting impact even beyond this COVID-19 pandemic. For example, within the region, our priority at the moment is how to recover from this pandemic. Therefore, the ability to do that, in our view, would require tremendous use of digital transformation in the region in order to ensure that the region is able to facilitate much better the recovery from this pandemic. Under the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework, new initiatives on digitalization are expected to be implemented this year and in the coming years. Aside from investing on digital infrastructure and innovation, for example, the region will be also looking at how to address the critical needs of the digital economy, including, for example, the need to leverage on technologies to strengthen supply chain connectivity, upskilling of small enterprises, enhancing e-governance, encouraging innovative startups, as well as strengthening cybersecurity and digital data governance. While these initiatives are currently being implemented in the region, there is a need for more intensified efforts to ensure that these initiatives are being implemented well and more effectively. Thus, I really would like to encourage the different stakeholders in the region, including the private sector and academic institutions, to work closely with ASEAN in pursuing some of these strategies in order to facilitate the recovery from this pandemic. In this regard, I also very much welcome this new initiative, Prophecy.io, because of its effort towards the development of talent base and human capital in the region in a digital era. I always believe that skills development is integral in a well-functioning digital economy. Therefore, the ability to make use of digital technologies to develop human capital and talent will be very crucial. For example, within ASEAN, our commitment to skills development, or in particular digital skills development, has remained strong over the years. Last month, our ICT ministers have adopted a new master plan, the ASEAN Digital Master Plan 2025, and an integral part of that master plan is the development of digital skills in the region. In addition to that, the region has implemented over the years a number of initiatives that promote digital skills development. For example, we have the ASEAN Science Data Explorers Program that tried to train a number of youth in the region in terms of promoting digital skills development in ASEAN. We also have this ASEAN Digital Innovation Program that is also intended to further promote digital skills development among the underprivileged youth in ASEAN. I'm glad that SRW&Co shares the same commitment to human development in a digital era. In this regard, I really would like to commend the launching of this new initiative called Prophecy.io. Like SRW&Co, ASEAN stands ready in the development of talents in the region, including the development of new leaders, as we try to embrace the opportunities and challenges of the fourth industrial revolution. With these words, let me again congratulate SRW&Co for the launching of today's event, and indeed also for a successful implementation of this new initiative called Prophecy.io. Thank you very much.
We realize that HR has many areas that need to be developed or improved to help achieving companies' business strategy. Firstly, let's start from the very basic aspect in competency-based human resource management, which is competency. Why? In order to ensure that the business objective is being achieved within the company, every employee must have specific competencies to perform all company's plan and strategy. Therefore, having a competency needs mapping in the company is very important. However, it is not yet enough. How are we going to distinguish which employee that match the competency needs and which one isn't? How to assess? This leads to the second of the basic aspect, assessment. What we offer is called 360-degree assessment, measurement from superiors, subordinates, peers, and yourself. It is the easiest and affordable way to measure whether the employee has met the competency needs of the position or not. With the help of AI inside Prophecy.io, competency preparation and assessment can be done very easily and quickly. You will feel like you have a 24/7 consultant who can provide you with HR best practice solutions anytime, anywhere. To be able to find out more about how Prophecy.io helps your HR in the competency and assessment area, I will be assisted by several colleagues to explain. For the first section, let's hear about competency solution in Prophecy.io from Sari.
What is a competency? Let's say you are a finance manager. Which one suits you the most? Website development, financial analysis, social media management, or food and beverage service? Of course, financial analysis. This is what we call a competency, a specific area of knowledge that help people do their jobs and roles smoothly. A competency is one of the foundations that needs to be in place and addressed in HR management, as a competency is highly integrated with other HR systems. Through competency, HR can find out whether employees have met the competency requirement of their position, so they can place people in the right place. Meanwhile, on the employee side, they know the appropriate development programs to improve their competency in which they are lacking. So ultimately, the company can ensure that every employee can contribute to achieve the corporate goals. HR team understands how important competency is in the company, but sometimes it is difficult to develop or find the right competency for each position in the company. They could develop the competency by themselves or use consultant services to create them, but it usually takes months to process it. Ideally, identification of competency depends on the company direction, such as vision, mission, values, strategy, job description. In-depth research and studies need to be performed to derive those directions to the required competency. But Prophecy.io can do everything in seconds. Using AI technology, Prophecy.io can provide recommendation for a set of appropriate competency which consists of core, leadership, and technical competencies. The question is, what happens if our company finally decides to change the company strategy? Without the system, we definitely need to review all competencies that have been previously developed. However, by using Profesi.io, you only need to re-enter the new information into the system, and Profesi.io will run and immediately recommend a new set of competencies, easy and fast. The competency generated by Profesi.io is equipped with competency dictionaries and complete competency profiles. Competency dictionaries contain a complete explanation of each competency, so that you know what skills are required and what the differences between level 1 to 5 are, or from basic to advanced. Meanwhile, a competency profile consists list of competency required for the position, as well as the competency level. Both competency dictionaries and competency profiles can be instantly generated by AI assistants. To be clearer about how AI recommends competency, my colleague Linggi will help to explain it.
In developing our competency model, we find some challenges that need to be addressed. First, how does Profesi.io recommend both soft and technical competencies that align with company's strategy and job requirements? For example, a position in the HR area will certainly have a different set of competencies from IT area. Second, how does Profesi.io recommend the appropriate proficiency level from level 1 to 5? The level of competency proficiency will be different between staff and executive level, as they might have different job complexities. To tackle those challenges, we have collected thousands of data from our expertise and experience over many years in people management consulting, and indeed has covered broad areas across industries. Using advanced natural language processing or NLP to predict similarity of companies' information with our extensive database, Profesi.io will recommend the most appropriate competency and proficiency level that can answer the company's needs. Furthermore, our machine learning system will continuously learn to produce better recommendations from time to time. With all the convenience provided by Profesi.io, your HR can manage competencies easier because everything is automated on the platform. Back to Aryo.
So that's how Profesi.io helps to develop the competencies based on your company needs. Competency is indeed the basis and things that must be existed in a company. However, the benefits of competency will be greater if it is integrated with the assessment. By conducting an assessment based on competency, HR will find out whether the employee has met the competency requirements to the position or not. In this case, Profesi.io provides 360 assessment, and Fajar will provide further explanation regarding this matter.
Assessment is performed to understand how is the gap between company's expectations and employees' current conditions. As we commonly know, there are several assessment types in the context of workforce, such as internal and external assessment. One of the common methods is 360-degree assessment. This assessment will be collecting feedbacks from superiors, subordinates, peers, and ourselves to eliminate bias and get broader perspective on how employees perform their competence in the company. In general, some challenges in 360-degree assessments are: first, we have to know what competencies to be assessed and in which level. In this case, there is no worry since Profesi.io has provided complete competencies for all positions, and it is directly integrated to the assessment module. Second, requires a lot of administrative preparations that need to be done before the assessment, such as defining who will be the assessor and who will be assessed, how much the weight for each assessor, how much the weight for assessed competency, etc. Tackling this problem, Profesi.io will provide full control of the settings inside the platform, so it reduces your paperwork. Third, analyze the assessment results. We understand that data is a powerful information to make any strategic decisions. Thus, we try to cover it by providing a comprehensive report illustrating employees' competency gap and their room for improvement, so that you can decide which types of training suits their development needs. Even further, you can design a career management or placement of employees according to their skills. Fourth, ensure that the assessment results are valid and reliable. The assessment questions in Profesi.io have been structured in such a way so that no one will understand the algorithm behind the questions. In addition, Profesi.io is able to spot whenever any anomaly trends happen in the assessment process and able to notify it directly to the company's admin. On top of that, you can use the service as much as you want with unlimited number of assessments. Therefore, you don't have any burden in collecting data for your employees' development purposes, as well as generating data-driven decisions for your strategic goals. Back to Aryo.
What is your thought after hearing an explanation about how Profesi.io manages competencies and assessments easily and quickly? Very interested and feel that your HR needs this app right now, right? It doesn't stop there. Profesi.io will continue to develop and cover other HR areas, such as workload analysis and manpower planning to improve productivity, custom surveys and studies on employee engagement index and organization culture, and many more. The closest one is the learning management system, which will be launched in July 2021. Profesi.io will propose appropriate personalized on-the-job learning activities and training programs based on the 360-degree assessment result. The most interesting thing, any offered learning programs will be collaborated with the reputable business schools and well-known universities. We can't wait to start working with all of you. Thanks to you all for joining us. Profesi.io, your smart people solution.
Hello, my name is Jabei Chen Kaiser, and I'm the Senior Director of Executive Education at New York University's Stern School of Business. At NYU Stern, we understand that the only constant is change. And while change brings uncertainty, it also brings opportunity for those bold enough to embrace it, which is why I'm delighted to speak with you today. On behalf of NYU Stern, we are so excited for the launch of Profesi.io, SRW's latest groundbreaking innovation in leadership development, and are honored to be a university partner in this initiative. Our long-standing collaboration with SRW is built on shared institutional commitments to innovation, entrepreneurship, leadership, and a global outlook. Like SRW, we recognize that the ASEAN region is vital in spurring global economic growth and that equipping ASEAN leaders with the knowledge and skills that you need will shape the future of business in the region and beyond. Providing access to our executive certificate programs through Profesi.io is a natural extension of this partnership, and we look forward to welcoming you to our programs. NYU Stern executive certificate programs are thoughtfully designed with senior faculty to equip participants with immediately applicable theory, tools, and frameworks. You will have access to world-class researchers and educators who are trailblazing the new fundamentals of business. Our programs are also informed by practical perspectives gained through our ties to New York City, our global reach, and deep industry connections. We know that leaders will need to navigate an increasingly interconnected world, a future where an eye towards technology, sustainability, and innovation are no longer optional, but critical for success. Perhaps this is most apparent in the ASEAN region, a region uniquely positioned at the intersection of growth, innovation, and globalization. In addition, we recognize that technology is integral to the future of learning, and therefore established a learning science lab long before the global pandemic. This team of creatives, educators, designers, and technologists work closely with faculty to create engaging, learner-centric online programs based on research and best practices. While we hope to meet you in person someday, rest assured that our online and live online programs will retain direct personal contact with senior faculty and the opportunity to network with other global participants. Change is the new constant. To grow and thrive in a dynamic business environment, it is critical that individuals and firms continuously learn and adapt. At NYU Stern Executive Education, we are committed to high-impact, lifelong learning solutions to prepare leaders for a rapidly changing world and are delighted to expand our collaboration with SRW through Professi.io. On behalf of NYU Stern, congratulations to Daniel, Yolanda, and the full team at SRW.
Hi, I'm Li Zhou, or Zhou Li in Chinese. I'm speaking to you from my office at CKGSB main campus in Beijing. This is where I met Mr. Daniel Wang of the SRW for the first time in 2012. Back then, SRW brought the first group of senior executives and government officials from Southeast Asia to our school to learn about China. At CKGSB, we very much value our long-time partnership with SRW. Together, we have observed the changes in China and around the world. China's position in the world has been changing from a low-cost producer to a fast-growing consumer market, and now it's becoming a new source of innovations in the world. In the meantime, CKGSB and SRW have been the front runners in helping business people be prepared for the digital transformation that is fundamentally reshaping the way we live, the way we work, and the way we learn. On our side, CKGSB launched our first online program last year. The program was COVID-19 driven digitalization in China. At the same time, SRW was developing this Professi.io solution. We are very happy to see that SRW is launching this service this month. We would like to congratulate SRW for such a milestone achievement. We believe Professi.io will benefit both SRW's clients like yourself and also their partners like us. We are very pleased to be one of the first group of partners on Professi.io. And thanks for the great teamwork by our colleagues at both SRW and CKGSB. Now you can find all our English programs we offer in 2021 on Professi.io. I'd like to bring you particular attention to the program we are going to offer soon in March. The name of the program is AI and Big Data for Executives. This is a very unique program that will be taught by our world-class faculty and their friends and clients in both China and the US. In addition to our own professors, you will hear from thought leaders from other leading business schools, such as MIT Sloan, and also the executives from leading AI and big data companies, such as Microsoft in the US and Baidu in China. I understand that you may need to work from home for a while, and I would highly encourage you to log on Professi.io to find as many learning opportunities as you can. I hope to see you in March online and in person later this year. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mark Lewis, Executive Director at the University of Chicago Booth School of Business Executive Education. I would like to first thank Daniel and Yolanda for the partnership with SRW and Company. We are also extremely excited about the Professi.io launch. Chicago Booth is the second oldest business school in the US. The University of Chicago has produced 89 Nobel laureates, 9 of which are from Chicago Booth. Chicago Booth is the only business school with full campuses on 3 continents, 2 campuses in Chicago, 1 campus in London, and 1 campus in Hong Kong. Booth Executive Education is extremely comfortable in the ASEAN region. Our programs address leadership, strategy, innovation, digital transformation, marketing, accounting, and finance. Some of the newly launched online live programs include the Entrepreneurial Mindset in Corporate Strategy, High Stakes Strategies, Strategic Thinking for Turbulent Times, and Cybersecurity Strategies for Executives. In the classroom, Chicago Booth faculty bring an excellent blend of conceptual and practical application into the classroom. At Chicago Booth, we teach you how to think, not what to think. Thank you, and we look forward to your participation virtually or in person.
Hi, I'm Mark Coopersmith. For the past 20 years, I've taught entrepreneurship and innovation here at UC Berkeley in the San Francisco Bay Area and Silicon Valley. We are at the global epicenter of entrepreneurial activity, entrepreneurial thinking and how it changes, innovation, corporate entrepreneurship, and how to drive and accelerate positive change inside entities from raw startups to global enterprises alike. And I've done all of that, from starting up my own companies to being a corporate entrepreneur inside Fortune 50, Fortune 100 companies. So we bring that real world expertise into everything that we do. During that time, it's been my pleasure to welcome SRW&Co and Daniel and Yolanda and teams of executives that they have brought over, cohorts that they've brought over to visit with us at UC Berkeley and gain insights into how to drive that type of change and innovation and value creation inside entire entrepreneurial ecosystems, so policymakers of all types, government officials, and especially inside enterprises, from accomplished entrepreneurs to leaders of major organizations across Southeast Asia. I've also had a chance to visit Southeast Asia a number of times and share some of the insights that we've gained about how to do all of this most efficiently and most effectively. Right now, as we battle our way through this global pandemic, the imperative for entrepreneurial thinking, for new innovation, for changes in the way that we work as organizations, as executives as well, has never been greater. I'm really pleased to learn of SRW's new initiative to integrate AI and machine learning along with their know-how based on many decades of experience in people management and human capital systems into a new offering called Professi.io. As we take a look at what's going on in the marketplace, in the workplace, we've never seen more change take place in a shorter period of time, at least not in modern business history. And as we look at what that means to our organizations, entire areas of organizations are now working from home. There are new needs as we think about technology, digitization, health and safety, which means many people in most organizations are going to find their current skill sets not entirely applicable for where the organization is going. So finding that right match between existing skills and needs, hiring, retraining, reframing is a massive task. And using technology to help accelerate that is part of what we're really looking at as we evaluate the next generation of companies and the next generation of human capital management. So I want to wish Daniel, Yolanda, and team the best of luck with their new product launch. And reiterate, I think the timing is absolutely right for a next generation smarter solution like this that can enable leaders of organizations to more effectively, transparently, and quickly assess needs, assess skills, and navigate their organizations through very turbulent times into the next big stage of growth. And the last thing that I want to share is it's in times like this times of massive change, of disruption, of challenges, of failures in organizations, that the next generation of major disruptors are typically born. So as a venture investor, I'm excited about this. As an executive, I hope you are too, but you need to be nimble, you need to move quickly, you need to reposition your organization because the world has changed and will continue to change quickly.
Well, good day, everybody. Welcome from London. We are here at the London School of Economics. My name is Professor Cox. I've been at the LSE for 20 years. And my good friend, Professor Estrin from the Department of Management, has been here for many, many years indeed. Professor Estrin works in the management department. I used to work in the international relations department, but now I'm a founding director of a think tank here at the LSE called LSE Ideas. Our good friend Daniel Wong from AGLP asked us to say a few things here from the LSE about how we see the world, how the world is moving, and what is the future for the world in the environment in which we now find ourselves, with a new president in the United States, a COVID pandemic, which is still ongoing, but vaccines being delivered to many parts of the world. And so we want to reflect on the current situation and give you some of our insights here from the LSE as part of this grand launch of the AI People Management Platform. So I'm going to hand over straight away to Professor Estrin to start the conversation rolling by asking me a question. Professor Estrin.
Thank you, Mick. Well, we all know how hard COVID has hit the USA and indeed the UK. What I want to ask you is, how do you think COVID has impacted on America's overall position in the world, but particularly its position in Asia? We've now got a new president. Biden, of course, won the election. Do you think that under Biden, the US is going to recover from its somewhat debilitated position under Trump?
Well, we can only wait and see, and never make a prediction, as I always say, either in economics or in international relations, Saul. But I'll say three things. Firstly, we should never underestimate the structural, economic, military power and the attractive power of the United States. Even under Trump, the United States still remained immensely powerful and immensely forceful, and an immense force for either for good or for bad. So I want to start with that one. Many people have talked about America being in decline. I'm a little bit more of a skeptic on that one. But there's no doubt either that Trump did damage to alliances, and many people within Asia, I know, Southeast Asia, ASEAN, got very concerned about the position taken by Trump on alliances and how committed the United States was to the region and the security and the economics of the region. Let me just say something too about America's position. Even though it has enormous structural power, as I mentioned, even in spite of Trump, nonetheless, its soft power position, I think, was seriously damaged, and it's going to take quite a long time for that soft power position to be restored. I think there's a question of credibility, and I think one of the great jobs that Joe Biden has in front of him is actually how to restore that credibility. However, overall, I think for America's allies in the region, right across the region, Japan, Southeast Asian countries, Indonesia, Singapore, South Korea, and many, many others indeed, I think it's actually a moment of some optimism that we may have now what I would almost call a more normal foreign policy team running American foreign policy. And I think that's going to be very good for reassuring allies within the region about America's longer term intentions. They lost that, I think, during the Trump years, and this is therefore only to be welcomed, I think. However, I'd also make the point, given that China is such a big player within the region, that although I think Trump talked tough on China, talked trade wars on China, and clearly identified China as the #1 rising challenge to the United States, both in the world and in Asia, I think there is going to be not so much change in the American position towards China. I think there is a view right across the political spectrum. It's almost a consensus now that if China is the great challenge, then indeed the United States has to stand up to that challenge. So although I think we're going to see a toning down of the rhetoric, I'm not sure we're going to see a fundamental change in policies. This therefore means for Southeast Asia that they're still going to be caught, the region and the countries are still going to be caught between the two great superpowers, if you like, the United States and China, and how they evolve their policies and develop their strategies is going to, I think, be the great challenges for countries in the region and, of course, for ASEAN as an organization. Saul, I want to now ask you a question. You're the economist. You've done a lot of work, I know, on developing countries, emerging economies. You've done a lot of work on Southeast Asia and on China. The question I want to ask you is, where do you think the world economy is going to go post-COVID? Are we ever going to return to something called normal? And where do you think China is going to fit into this?
Well, of course, that's the big question that everyone's asking, Mick. And you know, forecasting, my crystal ball is not that much better than anyone else's, but I think we can see bring a little bit of analysis to bear on that question. First of all, I think it's important to see that COVID, the main effect of COVID seems to be accelerating trends that already existed. So we were beginning to see already back in 2015 a move away from total globalization, the total integration of the world economy together. And we were beginning to see that partly politically because of economic nationalism in Europe, in Britain, in the United States, but also because just of technological changes and other changes. And what's going on here, I think, is COVID is accelerating that process. And I think we're going to see in a post-COVID world, less integration into a global value chain system and more reliance on regional systems. So what that means is associations between the Southeast Asian countries and their links to China may get stronger, whereas their links perhaps to America or to Europe may not develop quite as rapidly. So I think that's the first thing. The second trend that I think is accelerating is the trend towards manufacturing becoming more decentralized and more automated. I think we're going to see more and more use of robots, of AI in manufacturing, of 3D printing. And what that's going to mean is that more manufacturing is going to occur at home in developed countries, and the productivity of emerging economies is going to rise as they apply more and more capital to their production processes. I think if I come now to your specific question about China, China really got a grip on the spread of the pandemic very quickly. I mean, the SARS experience obviously helped them. So they sort of knew what they were doing. They were able to manufacture the relevant equipment, PPE equipment really quickly. And they had a really good track and trace system. And so they managed to get a handle on this. Now, the recession that in the developed countries is associated essentially with lockdowns, government is preventing firms from producing, has stopped in China for the most part. They're obviously aware of potential future dangers, but China has seen something like a V-shaped recovery. The economy has recovered very quickly. And that means, whereas of course, if you look at the US or the UK, we're still mired in a post-COVID recession, and we seem likely to be so for some time. So the gap between China and the West is narrowing, interestingly, in this period. So what COVID seems likely to do is to further accelerate the trend whereby the economic power of Europe or North America or Japan weakens relative to that of China and of Southeast Asia more generally. Maybe I'll stop there.
Okay, thanks, Saul. Those are fascinating insights, and I think reinforces arguments that we find being put round over the last few years about the economic shift away from the West, from the transatlantic region towards Asia and towards the Pacific. And what you seem to be saying, and I think it's a very, very important conclusion to arrive at, that Asia is simply going to become far more important going forward. COVID or no COVID in many ways, but what COVID is doing is actually accelerating trends which were already there. From my point of view, from the United States point of view, looking at it from the US point of view, I think this is going to be hugely challenging going forward, because the fundamentals of that shift are still going to be going on, maybe more quickly, as you've already suggested. And that China isn't going to go away. And that China's position is actually stronger now, relatively speaking, than it was 6 months ago, in part because they've dealt with the COVID crisis so much more successfully, it seems anyway, from everything we're reading, than has the United States, which has a lot to do to recover, both politically as well as economically. Anyway, thanks very much, Saul, for those insights. I hope everybody out there has gained some insights themselves from our reflections, and we look forward to meeting you, hopefully, at some point, if in 2021, hopefully in 2022, over here in London at the London School of Economics. So I'll say farewell from Professor Stern and from myself, Professor Michael Cox. Farewell.
Bye-bye.
We look forward to the support of our clients in subscribing to our digital platform. We will be doing our best to ensure the quality of our digital modules will be able to meet the expectations of our clients and make a real impact and significant contribution in improving the business performance. Thank you.